I have grave concerns here at the Phipps Street Burying Ground in Bunker Hill, Charleston. This is a very historic cemetery, as maybe you can tell, just kind of on this outcropping of a hill. Not very big, but loaded with stones. Very historic. And we're not far from the Bunker Hill Monument. Maybe I'll be able to see it when I get to the top. But let's just begin here. It says Thomas Prentice, Reverend, right there. I thought that was actually going to be more of a informational, but it's just about Thomas Prentice. Okay. Wonderful carvings here. Someone named Chambers, Esquire. Looks like 1743. So these have a kind of a vertical wear on them. Someone named Jenner from 1725. There's a little tiny one that's buried here, even more so in the snow. Sarah Foster, wife of Richard Foster, 1724. I mean, I feel like I could look at every stone here. These are all fairly similar along this wall. Actually had to call the city to get entrance here. There was a lock on the gate, and they give you the combination for it, so you let yourself in. But unfortunately, I could not get that lock back on, so I'm going to have to call them again and tell them that somebody's going to need to come down here and lock it. John Kettle. Look at this. John Center, 1749. What a great skull on there. Same with the one next to it. These are from the 1800s here. Samuel Townsend, 1802. David Townsend, 1800. Maybe the father there. They're getting older as they go up the hill. David Devens, look at that figure on the top. Abigail Chapman. Nice urn and willow tree up top. Richard Chapman, Captain Richard Chapman, 1788. Soft in his manners, pleasing in his open his temper, of his mind serene. And it goes on. Look at this fantastic one. Here lies the body of Mr. Jacob Stone, who was drowned in 1746. Again, the skull, the winged skull up top. Just fantastic. What a beautiful cemetery. It feels like this whole place should be covered and just turned into a museum. As I approach the hill here with the one tree on top of it. Looks like Les Brown or something like that. It's a tough read. Captain Thomas Harding, again, with a winged skull, 1768. Elizabeth Blodgett, 1808. Look at this one, how beautiful. These details here, wow. Here lies the body of Margaret Newell. Newell. Said 1689. Wow. Just tremendous carving. Hannah Adams, 1699, the small one next to it, also with a little winged skull up top. A lot of Adamses here. Little Hannah Adams. These smaller ones are usually children's graves. A lot of them have the winged skull on the top. Here's a very sooty one, a couple of sooty ones with winged skulls. Actually, they look less sooty on my camera. They're much darker in person. 1710. Anne Het. 1688. Wow. Sarah Call, wife of Thomas Call, 1761. We can still see the horizontal guidelines on that. Hannah Kettle. Getting a bit of wind here on the hill now. So every one of these stones one could look at for quite a while. Nathaniel Howard. Let's see a year on that. 26. So there it is, 1790. So now we can get a little more orientation here. I'll just recenter. And you can see a bit of the skyline of Boston in the background. And as I pan left, some of the housing here, along with the Bunker Hill Monument just in the distance. It looks farther than it is. That's a 15-minute walk there, if that, only because it's uphill. Back towards the entrance. And here we have George Bunker. So this is a later stone. 1664. I was going to say this might be the original, but this looks a little later, 1721. So this must be George Bunker's kids. I assume this is where the Bunker Hill moniker comes from, but one never knows without researching it. Rebecca Relict. Rebecca Jenner, sorry. Relict of Captain Thomas Jenner, 1722. A little close to that one. And on the very top of the hill here, actually just before I get to it, let's just check this one out. Robert Stanton. What year? 1764. And Goodwin. Looks like 16 something down there, 1680 something at the bottom. But here we see now, looking in the other direction, looking north here, now you can see the highway in the distance. And this is John Harvard on the top of Harvard University. He died fairly young. Died 1638. Doesn't have his birth year. Mary Ford died December 13th. Looks like 1917, but must be December something, 17 something. Some of these have pretty deep carvings. Get that, there we go. Sorry if that last one might have been in the shadow. Let me zoom back over to that one that I was looking at from the, there we go. With the snow and everything, it kind of brightens up. Abigail Gowan. These are all just fantastic. Joseph Wire, 1741. It's John Harvard Hill. Oh, actually, there's another plaque behind the John Harvard. Let me go back to that. Johannes Harvard. Latin. honest, I've already. That's funny. No dates. John Phipps, 1740. Richard Newell, Timothy Phillips, all mid 1700s here in this row. Look at the carvings, my God. Look at this one. Elizabeth Martin. Dates down in the snow, more 1700s. Wow. All behind us. Elizabeth Capin, be carpenter. Looks like Capin though. 1720s now, 1721. Thomas Capin, another fantastic carving. Wow. Where to go? This is an embarrassment of riches. My hand is getting cold already. James Bradish, 1781. John Carter, 1721. Daughter of John and Sarah, 5 years old. You don't get through these old cemeteries without lots of children's graves. 1698, it looks like, or 3, for Loana Crisp. These really are on the edge here in terms of preservation. Rebecca Call, consort to Caleb Call, 1765. Jonathan Kettle, 74 years old. I'm assuming late 18th century as well. Wow. Jonathan Kettle, 1764. Catherine Kettle, wife of Deacon Jonathan Kettle. Look at this one. This is a bit unusual. Memento Mori, Fugit Torah, time flies. Right, literally time flying, the hourglass flying up top. We've also got crossbones, coffins. Sergeant Richard Kettle. Year in the snow. Wow. My goodness, look at these. James Loudon, 1740. Slippery hill here now. Benjamin Frothingham. Frothingham. Here lies Nathaniel Frothingham. A very distressed looking grinning skull on that one. All Frothinghams here. This whole row. This is what we have behind us. really prominent one, but newer looking. More Frothinghams, actually. This is a huge section of Frothinghams. I'm just wondering what this one says here. I'm just going to check the other side of it. It is James Honeywell, 1869. Nope. But I'm aware of. So more Frothinghams up here. Back up to the Harvard Hill. Walker. Newhart, Elizabeth Newhart, 1800s now. Mary Phipps, wife of Samuel Phipps. So Phipps Street burying ground, Phipps family. Just wanted to see you over here. Oh, slippery. This prominent stone. Is anyone of note? Not visually interesting, but Gilbert. That's a tough read. Maybe you can see that on the camera better than I. Gilbert Potts or Potts, 1863. John Skinner on this granite block. A little Boston Celtics hat down there. Isaac Warren, back to the Bunker family. John Rayner. There we go. Go back over here to Harvard section, just because there was a section over here to the left that I missed. And there is this one by the tree. But I don't see any marker. Too bad. Oh, here we go. Ministers of the First Church. Okay. Might be the same for this rectangular one here. Yeah, no marker. Let's see who's down here. Bridgen, 1735. A lot of Bridgens here. Joseph Rand, Joseph Rand, 1799 or 79, with another great looking skull. James Brandish, 1798. Benjamin Pierce, 1735. A lot of Pierces here. I guess just to finish this section, I want to go take a look over here. Kettles. Bridgin. This is a Winchester, this prominent newer one. Brazier. Phipps. Anderson. Sutton. Mary Sutton. See some of these falling down back here on this back row. Tufts. Aaron Tufts. So there's a whole section of Tufts here, of course. Makes me wonder about Tufts University. So you can see that better. This one that's tipped is really interesting. But I gotta get in so the light will change. So there's Aaron Tufts. Ooh. Small cemetery, but a bit of a workout for me here up and down this hill. Not really any like particular rows that I can just go up and down. It's all little sections facing different directions. Lots going on here. Back to the Harvard section. The peak here, the pinnacle of the cemetery. There we go, Anderson. 1670 something. Brown. Jacob Brown, I think, IOB. I don't know, 1678. Broken stone here. I just love the patina on this one. These badgers. Elizabeth Hade. Something like that. 1680. Wow. So yeah, supposedly this is 1630 cemetery, which is making it quite old. We're talking 10 years after the landing at Plymouth. That's about as old it gets for these colonial cemeteries. And look at the carving here. My goodness. I can't really read it. Maybe a Rogers or something. You can see that better than me. Another one like this with the carving. Hopping, Susanna Hopping. I mean, you can see how these were hand carved. Even just look at the back here on this one. Obadiah White. This is a 19th century stone with the willow. Abigail Hopping, another one. The years are a bit buried here. Thomas Powers, 1739. There's an Ebenezer Breed, 1720. '19th century here now, the Merricks. 1753. Weir. W-Y-E-R, W-I-E-R, and the stone next to it. More Weirs here. Another great skull. All of these just have that winged skull motif. Winged angel. Richard Boylston. Boylston Street. Mary Boylston. Captain Stephen Hall, 1773. Our term of time is 70 years, an age that few survive. But if with more than common strength, to 80 we arrive, yet then our boasted strength decays to sorrow, turned and pain. So soon the slender thread is cut, and we no more remain. Oh. Nice rhyme scheme here. Captain Stephen Hall of Boston. Yeah, he lived to 80 years, and we've got this sort of George Washington looking angel on there. Bunch of halls here. Grace Hall. Get the noises of the city in the background. Trucks backing up, police cars. Stamson. And I'm back up here on another hill. So check this one out. Samuel Webb, wife of Samuel. Mrs. Abigail Webb, widow of Samuel. There's Samuel next door. It's kind of a broken stone. 1739. Yeah, it's just there's too many temptations here to look at before I get to the hill. Which, yeah, it doesn't look as interesting, but there's some prominent stones there. Ebenezer Austin. Thomas Austin. I'm always a sucker for an Ebenezer stone. Because, of course, of Scrooge. Hannah Hopkins, 1742. All right, let's check this hill. The secondary hill next to Harvard. Elias Rowe, 1686. Thomas Waffa? Alice Waffa? 1723. Some Longs. Mary Long. 1688. Hancocks. Okay, interesting. Samuel Hancock, son of Mr. John and Mrs. Susanna Hancock, 1740. Interesting. Lydia Dunkel, 1797. And here are these kind of above ground Richard and Sarah Foster. Someone named Isaac. Jonathan. Greaulls. James Carey, 1681. I mean, these are in great shape. If these are the original stones from the 17th century. Moselle, 1742. Sorry, there we go. There is a church in the background ringing its bells right now. You kind of see it on the horizon here. My battery's about to give up. It's too cold. So I didn't find everybody I wanted to find. But it's a start. I can come back and do a part 2. Maybe starting on this section next time.